guys. So this is probably my fourth attempt at doing a video today. Today, right now, actually, is the full supermoon Pisces lunar eclipse, September 2024. And I've been really affected by this full moon eclipse coming in. I would have said probably 2 months ago that I really don't have any healing to do. I've pretty much done it all. I've healed the mother wounds, the father wounds. I mean, I've been doing a lot of healing lately. Anyway, but then all of a sudden I, started going through another dark night of the soul, another healing cycle. And it was coming up to this eclipse. So I knew that it was probably stuff that I hadn't dealt with. It was still kind of hidden. At any rate, this isn't really about me. It was just these things that are happening are having an effect on some people, and a really heavy, hard effect on some people. Spontaneous crying, and crying from the depths of your soul and not really sure why. Like nothing happened. Something sparked it. You started crying, and the next thing you're in this major crying episode. That is a healing, and that is healing something that you probably weren't even aware was in need of healing. Anyway, I ponder a lot during these times on why there are themes. So by what I mean themes, like you hear a lot of people talking about the economy and how the economy isn't working for them, and they're having a hard time and they're struggling, and TikTok is full of videos of people, just talking about this stuff. And then you have relationships, like friendships have fallen apart, or you have torn them apart on purpose because they were not working for you. Maybe your friend or friends were treating you in a certain way and it wasn't acceptable to you, and you said, no, that's not going to freaking happen anymore. You have every right to do that. Family, brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, grandparents, whoever. A lot of people have been estranged from their families. And it's kind of funny because you hear a lot of people talking about being alone, being truly alone for the first time in their lives. I see a lot of people talking on like social media, comments, chats, things like that, videos. It just kind of depends. It comes up pretty regularly about how they are completely alone for the first time in their entire lives. Like no friends, no family, no partner, no children, no nothing. Like completely alone. And that is pretty unusual. And I think it's really unusual when you get so many people saying this same thing. When there are shifts like this, I always go to astrology. I always look at the planet or planets that could be causing this. I know it's a long-term because it's been going on already since 2019, 2020 for sure. But I think it really started in like 2018, 2019 was when it started peeking its head up. And I was thinking, because of the loneliness factor, that it might be a Saturn transit, but Saturn is only a couple years. So if it were a Saturn transit, we would have been through it already. So that leaves a longer transition time, a longer learning time. That would be Uranus, Pluto, Neptune, Jupiter, outer planet stuff. Things that take time to process. And I did some research and I realized it's Pluto. And I know a lot of you don't know, I have 2 planets in Sagittarius. I have 3 planets in Capricorn. It is my midhaven. I have had the nickname online for many years, Pluto's toy. And when things got really bad, really crazy, I changed it to Dement. The reason that I did Pluto's toy, everybody thinks that I have the name because of the Disney dog, which has nothing to do with anything. It's astrology. I have felt since like 1990, God, I want to say it was like 1990. I have felt very much like Pluto's toy. And my life has completely changed over those years. For the better, obviously. I have changed over those years. But Pluto tears down to rebuild. It tears apart anything that isn't working and it rebuilds it from the ground up. So that for the next 100 years, if you were to live that long, you would be in new energy. So I had to go through it with 5 different planets over the last 30 years. And that is not terribly typical for someone with a Pluto transit. It happened because the time I was born, the way my birth chart is, so on and so forth. So each person experiences it differently. Some people don't experience any Pluto transits whatsoever. I experienced a lot of them and very profound ones. I think I'm going to request that my next life I don't have to experience anymore. But who knows? Anyway, the last time Pluto was doing something similar to what it's doing right now was in 1776. And y'all know what happened in 1776. It actually Pluto was in Aquarius from 1777 until like 1798, I believe. It's a long transit. It is a long transit. And it is extremely slow, and it is extremely excruciating, and it is extremely transformative and almost shocking when it comes to change. The best mental thoughts that you can have during an intense Pluto transit is that it is all happening for a good reason. That it is actually, even though you feel very unstable, even though you're kind of freaking out at what's going on with that change, you have to keep in your mind that the outcome, whenever you get there, will be perfection. And it will be. But when you're in that transformative stage, it does not feel like it in any way, shape, or form. And this experience that we're having right now, where there are people who are just saying, why am I so alone? Why? I don't really, it's funny because I don't hear a lot of people saying, I'm lonely. I hear a lot of people saying, I'm alone. But I'm not hearing a whole lot of people say, I'm lonely. Like, I hear a lot of people saying, I'm alone and I'm happy that I'm alone. So, when you start hearing that many people making comments like that and the same type of sentiment about it, you can be assured that it is some type of astrological transit that's happening that is causing that problem. And that would be Pluto. That would absolutely be Pluto. Uh, and unfortunately, I think Pluto's shortest transition time is like 14 years or something like that. Shortest. I think it can go down to 13, but typically it's like 14 to 20 years. It's a very, very long transit time. And yes, Pluto is a planet, according to astrologers, not NASA. That's okay. NASA can have it however they want. I see Pluto as very, very influential in a chart, and I feel the effects of that planet. So, on that note, just know right now I think Pluto is actually retrograde. And when it is retrograde, it does kind of slow down the change, the transformation a bit. It gets a little more quiet when you are in a very heavy Pluto transition, or Pluto. What the heck is the word I'm looking for? When you're in a phase, a heavy Pluto phase, when it goes retrograde, you actually look forward to it. you think, God, it's retrograde because I really don't think I can handle much more. So it is currently retrograde. Not really sure when it's going to turn around because I haven't really dug into transits and all that kind of stuff right now. But right now, that is exactly what's happening. That is the economic issues. That is the social reform, social interaction, social justice, work, economy. We are changing because Capricorn was very different than Aquarius. So there's going to be big changes. There's going to be big changes in everything. Just know that. There's going to be big changes. And yeah, Pluto, the destroyer. It tears down to rebuild. Just keep in mind, no matter what is happening, no matter how intense it feels, that there is, in the end, a very good reason for the destruction or the chaos that you're feeling right now. It will evolve, it will turn into something else. And when it is done with its transit, which will be probably 20 plus years from now, it will be better. But then it's going to go into another area and it's going to work on that transformation. It takes hundreds of years for Pluto to go all the way around our solar system. It's a very long transit. And it's a very interesting planet if you want to get into astrology, figure out what your Pluto placement is, and read up on it, and you will be shocked at how impactful Pluto actually is in your life and how you can look at specific transitions that Pluto has made and how it's affected your life. Shocking. It was, in fact, the way I got into astrology. I kind of had an interest in it, but I didn't really know a whole lot. And then when Pluto started aspecting my sun, that was when I got into astrology. And I Pluto's toy. That's me. I am definitely Pluto's toy. And I believe that the hardest of my experiences are over. I don't have a whole lot of planets coming up. But I'm old. So I really don't have too many more Pluto transits to live through. So the vibe today is actually the eclipse. It's a lunar eclipse, so it's a door closing. Something in your life is coming to an end. Something that has been happening is about to be finished. That could be the end of a relationship. That could be the end of a job. That could be the end of school. Or that could be the end of a health problem. It could be many, many different things. It is a door closing on something from the past. And it is a time to just, full moons are a time to let go, to release, to just enjoy. Enjoy harvest. This is a time where things come in. So being in your feminine energy, your receiving energy is much better during a full moon. The new moon is a time to work hard and plant seeds for fruition at the full moon. So we are in the fruition state. And we are definitely in a very high vibing and somewhat emotional. And the reason why I say emotional is because it's in Pisces. And Pisces is a water sign, and that is where a lot of emotion comes from. Water is always associated with the emotions: love, compassion, kindness, as well as the other side of it, which is healing, waterworks. Anyway, I hope that you guys are not struggling too terribly bad with this eclipse. It is happening today where I am. I don't know the exact time. I think it's sometime right about now, actually. And just know that lunar eclipses are a time of ending. Something is coming to an end right now. In a couple weeks, I think we have a solar eclipse, but I'll talk about that in the next energy update. Love and blessings.